This is my code for project 2, a water utility company. Up here I declared some variables. Up here we have the residential base price, which is $5 for everybody. The commercial base price, which is $1,000, and then it goes up from there. The low base for the industry, which is $1,000. The higher base price, which is $2,000. And everyone has an amount of gallons used, and they also have a cost of those gallons used. And I also have a Boolean variable called invalid, and it's set to false right now, but it's going to be true if the user enters any invalid inputs that we don't want. So here, this is just taking the input for the data that we're going to be calculating later. So we're taking in the code, the customer's code, and then the beginning reading of the water meter, and then the ending reading. So here, this block is just for testing if the values that they entered for their water meter readings are within the bounds. So between 0 and 999,999,999. If it's out of those bounds, then the invalid flag is going to be set to true, and then it's going to affect what's printed out later at the bottom down here. But the code will continue working, so regardless of if it's in or out of bounds, anyway, it keeps going. And if the end reading is less than the beginning reading, that means the water meter looped around past 0 and it reset. And so to deal with that, in that case, the gallons used would be basically 0, and then subtract the beginning reading and then add the ending reading back in. So that's basically the difference between those two, and then divide that all by 10, because gallons used is the water meter is measured in tenths. And then if not, it'll just work as normal with the ending reading minus the beginning reading, and all that divided by 10. So this block here is for reading the customer's area code, and if it's R, it's residential. And so to calculate the cost of their water usage is going to be the base price plus how many gallons they used times $0.0005. And if not, then it will go to the commercial block right here, and then if the gallons used is over 4 million, that means that cost will be the base price plus whatever extra gallons they used times 0.00025. And if not that, then it's just the base price, and that's it. And so if they entered the industry area code, then that means if the gallons used is less than 4 million, it'll simply be the base price, and that's it. But if not, and it's less than 10 million, then the cost is going to be the higher base price for industry, which is $2,000. And if it's not that, if it's beyond 10 million, then it's going to be that base price plus the extra amount they used times 0.00025. Now, if they had an invalid character, that means the invalid flag is going to be set to true. So down here, it's just printing out a summary of what they entered in, and here we'll see the invalid flag being put to use, because if it's true, that means that they put in an invalid entry, and instead of printing down the calculated gallons that they used and their cost, it's just going to put out 0 for gallons of water and amount billed. But if they did everything right, then that means the gallons of water used is going to be calculated and printed out down here all together. And now I'll do the demo. Alright, here's the demo portion. I'm going to use the same examples on the prompt. So entering the user's code, if we put R and that, and then gonna print out what we expect, and this is the same on the examples on the prompt for this project. So if I do another one, let's do capital C, and then I'll enter okay, it's gonna return back 0.8 and $1,000, and that's exactly what was there. Let's do one more. Gonna enter something invalid, so T. And so here we can see that there's an invalid entry, and it just outputs 0 for gallons and then 0 for the amount billed as well. Let's do a test of invalid numbers. So C is a valid character, but let's do -1 and something like that. So again, we have another invalid entry because -1 doesn't work. Let's make the second one be invalid. So if we do R and then if we have something huge out of bounds, then it's going to be another invalid entry. Thank you.